Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. And yes, it is the derby week. I would say the rivalry week, put it simply. हम देखें that yesterday it was a huge game which didn't turn out to be a huge game for the neutral. But I think we have to certainly, commend Liverpool there for the kind of performance they did. But another rivalry that we had to discuss separately because this has a separate history altogether talk about it. But obviously, it is Chelsea versus Arsenal, and I'm hoping like anyone who kind of joins the stream does the does hit the like button because yes, it certainly helps having more people on the stream so that we discuss more. Because yes, we were not going to discuss just Chelsea, Arsenal, but a little bit more for sure. Considering what happened yesterday and what's going to happen later tonight. But for this huge game, I had to bring on a very special panel, and that is Ashish. Ashish, the real Indian gunner. Buddy, Ashish, kaise ho? It's been a long time. I know last time we met in New Year's. What has changed and what you've been up to?
Nothing as sort of, as an Arsenal fan, it was a very, after just before April started, everything was looking so good, but the last three games have changed a lot, and so have been our moods. But yeah, we're open to anything, any position by the end of the season. I'm just looking at the next transfer window. That's it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I know like Ashish is kind of the rock star when it comes to transfers, and we'll be discussing transfers for sure because he kind of follows it even more closely than most of us. Trust me on that. And again, like always, you know the drill. It's like button, subscribe, and take the poll. But do check out the guest link below. I think Ashish, you are close to 20K, so hopefully you will get there by the end of this month, and hopefully we can help you there as well. But certainly, great content there. People do check it out, and yes, I'm saying it, a Chelsea fan is saying it, so you know what I mean, right? I mean, this guy knows his stuff, simply put. But talk about Arsenal, right? Again, I know it's been I think not a great phase in the last 3 weeks that you've had, losses. But I think in Arsenal's 136-year history, it can possibly be the first time I think that you're going to get three consecutive London derby defeats away from home without scoring, which is you don't need a motivation against Chelsea, but I think this is an added motivation. And Chelsea also haven't, right? We haven't done a league double over Arsenal now, I think, for almost 6 years. And we know that, last time we did, I remember that very well. But absolutely fantastic to, get that. I'm sure you'll feel the same. But where are you on this history? Like, does it count in a derby or not really?
Well, actually, to talk about history, I mean, it's a different kind of rivalry when it comes to Chelsea and Arsenal. And of course, I think last time around, beating Chelsea at the Bridge, I remember it was the first league double after a very long time that we did on Chelsea. So this time around, of course, I really, since Thomas Tuchel left Paris Saint-Germain, I knew he was a very capable coach. He's taken Chelsea to a lot of finals. He's done a fantastic job. There's no doubt about it, But deep down inside, of course, as an Arsenal fan, tonight history does not matter. The big reason is that we are looking for. The big reason is because we are looking. We just want to, since we realized that the last 13 or 14 games that were left in the season, we realized that every game, let's take it one by one. That's what was the idea. But the last three games, it looks like everyone else has actually got the motivation apart from Arsenal players, plus the injuries that we've suffered. So we knew our squad was thin, but there's no Kovacic that I have actually, Tuchel has confirmed that. So that might help, but not for long because I know Chelsea always win the midfield game. But let's see how things will turn out to be. But I think there's more pressure on Arsenal because of the last three losses. Plus the injuries still persist, and we were missing a lot of players like Takehiro Tomiyasu. Seen him in training, and that's when Arteta would have told that he will take a call. So he was visible in training. So if he comes in, I'm hoping for something. To be real with you, I'm looking for a draw out here. That's the most I'm looking for. Anything beyond that is.
I think especially after yesterday's result, right? Now you have that push in at least to try and get a draw as a minimum, right? Rather than a win. So I think that is something good. But again, Spurs, we'll talk about it for sure. I'll show you the table as well. But again, people joining, I think this comment I would like to quickly take from Amar, right? So Amar, एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, and again, this for everyone here. Like I always say, this is a fan channel for all to see. Amar, if you do not like Arsenal, trust me, I don't like Arsenal either. I can tell when Ashish is here on his face. He'll probably tell the same thing about Chelsea, and that is what football banter is all about. You got to be here, and I'm a fan from like 22 years, boss, Amar. So we got to be in the conversation. If you don't like Arsenal, put in your points. We'll discuss that. But again, without crossing the line. That's what we believe in, and as content creators, we understand where that line is. Hopefully, right? And that's what we would definitely have. But it's just not Chelsea Arsenal. There are other games happening as well tonight, and of course, some transfers that have happened. And Ashish in the house, IG, he knows his transfer stuff, so we'll discuss a lot of transfers over EPL as well, right? Alonso will be key to victory if he's in form today. Well, I think the clutch player for us, I think this is not wrong. Suraj, absolutely, bhai, you know it. Alonso, when he clicks, as in when he scores, usually Chelsea tend to do well. Simply, let's put it that way. But if he does bad, he does really bad, and that's the difference in Alonso, right? As in, it's either as in chalk and cheese. Chelsea won, Arsenal won. Okay, we'll get to predictions. Interesting prediction. I think Ashish will take that for sure. Big fan, yes, big fan of you as well. Everyone joining, we are big fans of everyone who's joining, because without you, there is no content creation. Trust me on that. And it's all about interaction. Otherwise, no point of doing live streams, right? You're one of the good content creator. Yes, same with Ashish. Trust me on that. Keep it up. All support from Nepal. Hoping best for Chelsea. Big up, bro. TG Ayush, will Ronaldo play against Arsenal? We'll get to that. We'll discuss that quickly as well towards the end of the stream, because it's too early to call that right now. Again, thoughts go out to him and his family. Arsenal want their all remaining matches must be played against United. Ashish, you will take that, right?
I will.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
But under Ralph Ranić, one thing I must say, that Manchester United, at least disciplinary wise, their positioning sense is really good. Like they've been compared to them being under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But there's this one man that always plays against them, and there's also one player that also always plays against Arsenal. That is any of the Arsenal strikers. We play with 10 men whenever we play. At least in the last few games.
I thought you were referring to Didier Drogba again. But that's a good one. But having said that, like, I actually would like to say, Rishikesh bhai, Arsenal actually are the bogey team for us as well in the league. In the league in recent years, we haven't done so well, to be very honest. I remember those moments of Jorginho, Kepa, just last season. I remember that clearly. And of course, who can forget before that as well, Martinelli, Kante. So there have been kind of moments, जहाँ पर हम बोलोगे यार, we haven't dominated Arsenal like you would expect as a Chelsea team of recent years, because that is what Derby brings to you. That is what Arsenal have. They also have a lot of players, and we'll get to that as well. It's okay, not like the club, but yeah, never hate any club. Exactly. Arsenal will find it tough against high-spirited Chelsea tonight. See, that is the whole point. I'm going for 3-1 win for the Blues. Thank you for that, Blograna Hut, Barca fan in the house. लेकिन आशीष, मैं पूछना चाहूंगा यहाँ पर, देखो, with Chelsea, we spoke about Alonso, right? It's always that clutch, the moment. As in, maybe Chelsea players are like, we are maybe a cup team. Like we won the Champions League just last season. You know that we've reached a couple of finals recently. Even we are yet to play the FA Cup final. So I think the team that we have, they look for basically the limelight. Again, it's not a purpose, but that's the personality that they are. Like, they want to do well when it counts, right? So against Arsenal, they know that it will count because it's a derby. The local crowd is there. It's at Stamford Bridge, where we haven't done well, mind you. We haven't I think, lost 3 games for last 29 years consecutively, and that's possible. And the last time it happened was against Arsenal. So there is a lot of motivation. So does Arsenal also have the same kind of players? Because you also dropped a lot of points recently against teams that you expected to win. So would you say that?
I think today I'm looking out for. There are some players in Chelsea team which I agree that they can come clutch. Kai Havertz, you can never count him out because of course he's going to be awesome. Now I think I think Reece James is going to be a very, very interesting player for me. I think in terms of Chelsea is concerned, but Arsenal do have certain kind of players. The last game which we lost 1-0 to Brighton. In that game, Arsenal played much better. I mean, they were dominating throughout the whole game. But the biggest problem was that there wasn't a moment in the whole game where we tried to do. There was not something magical, or we were just sideways passing. Nothing from the central that was going on. So that thing is missing. I mean, the presence of a proper midfielder like Thomas Partey, it's not there, and we're missing it. There's nothing in the midfield that we can actually depend on. So that is the only problem, and we're trying to bring all the attack from the outer sides, from the wings. So it's not happening. Somehow there is a missing link, and I'm pretty much sure Chelsea are going to exploit that a lot. But I'm still, the whole ये पूरा जो कांटा है पूरा चेल्सी की तरफ जा रहा है.
मतलब वो बहुत actually smart है यहाँ पर आशीष knows that when Chelsea are the favorites, right, we kind of tend to underperform, and that's the whole point. But that's right. I would take that from him because that's a reality as well. We have to kind of deal with it. As much as Arsenal would like to be in that situation, in recent times you're not, especially recent weeks to or be. But again, I'll take a couple of chats here, big up to Just Viola as well, and. Yeah, I'll probably take this kind of feedback from you, Ashish. Like again, being Arsenal, being Chelsea, both of us are in transition. Like let's be honest, especially with the ownership situation, we are going to be in a transition for a while as well. As much as our fans would not like to believe, that's a reality. Let's be honest about it. But Arsenal have been in transition for a very, very long time. Man United the same, right? So where are you, like as an outsider? As a neutral, as in what do you see the problem at Manchester United? I know it was Liverpool doing very well and Manchester United on the field are not there with the players maybe, but overall, like a lot of blames are coming, right, when it comes to Manchester United. What do you think is the main problem there?
I think the biggest problem is whoever is calling the shots in terms of signings. In Liverpool they have this. They had a head. I forgot his name. I mean, he was responsible to get the transfers done. Now, there are lots of times when Jurgen Klopp has said that he wants certain kind of players, but that guy made it sure that only the quality players at the right price come to Liverpool. That is missing from Manchester United. Now, when you hear that people want, fans want Sancho, they got Sancho, but did they need? I mean, you look at, of course, Sancho is quite magical. He's done fantastic in Bundesliga, but Premier League is all it's a different ball game. But the biggest issue is the midfield that they never addressed it. The midfield. I mean, you can't let McTominay and Fred be in the midfield. I'm not saying that Fred is not that good, but he's slightly better than McTominay. He's
exactly.
not. He's not. So Manchester United let the opposition's team, run over their midfield. It's all about Ronaldo that has actually kept them in the Champions League hunt. At least
that's a great point. That's a great, because people are kind of very easy to kind of put the blame on basically that one transfer. But if that wasn't there, imagine where United would have been. Trust me, like they wouldn't have been even probably in the 7-8 position. I think that's the reality of it. And I think you're right. Doesn't even the transfers, even the manager transfer, right? For example, putting someone just for 5 months when that person and the rest of the entire world knows that he's only for 5 months. Like come on. As in, no one's a kid and everyone's a human. You got to be, as in have a long-term solution or at least seek to do that. But let's see, as Arsenal and Chelsea fans, we are happy for the time being. But yeah, I would also kind of miss that because we know Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, especially, I think it was three of us in the early to mid 2000s. Honestly, Liverpool during that time wasn't there, right up there. But in terms of real kind of rivalry in terms of the table, that's where I think probably there is a nostalgia out there. So I have that, okay, fine. I probably would like them to come back just for that nostalgia feeling. But again, I don't mind, as long as it takes time. As long as Chelsea are okay and we get a new owner in time and a good owner in that, right? But Chelsea top 4 is almost secured. I want Arsenal to win so that they can play UCL next season. Interesting. So we have the City fans, supporting you. Look like that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, come on. Mind you, City have actually displaced Arsenal in the top 4. The traditional top 4, and you have to agree, Ashish, there. That's what has happened over the last decade, right? So it's very strange to hear this from a City fan, but yeah, I think probably realizing that it's happened. Yes, big up to 8744 as well, who joined. Well, मुझे नहीं लगता एरिक टेन हाग आकर भी कुछ कर लेगा. पहले ग्लेजर्स को लात मारकर निकालो और पूरा बोर्ड चेंज करो. I think Gary Neville, I think called it already. He's been calling it, I think, year after year. Probably there will be a time, लेकिन अभी टेन आ गया तो अच्छा बहाना मिल गया यार ग्लेजर्स को यार. They are doing something. They have something to show, right? At least to the fans. Yes. What about Maguire, man? As in, would you take Maguire? Like just putting it out there, because you also need a defender, don't you? In the long
run. We just got rid of Shkodran Mustafi, so no.
Good one. You heard it there, Prashant. अब और बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. चलो. And again, like I went on saying that Maguire in 3 the back system is not too bad, but I think last night changed that opinion of mine as well. I don't know. He thought he's a midfielder. I don't know what it was. I did it in my solo video, man. And by the way, people do check out the solo videos of Ashish as well. Like you see a lot of nitty gritty stuff there, and which you love, and probably I learned from him as well. Uncle, which team do you rather see in top four, Arsenal or Spurs? Yes. By the way, people, there's a poll out there. Check out as in what do you think? For me, I'd rather see Arsenal than Spurs. Again, it's just me being me. The nostalgia that is there in Almighty Blues FC always. Because of the fact that they are our traditional rivals more compared to Spurs, I never saw Spurs as a rival. I know Arsenal sees Spurs as a direct rival because of the geography, obviously, and that's not in London rivalry. Is probably one of the biggest in England, right? But for me, Arsenal was the bigger rival than Spurs because of probably we competed for the spots as in top four spots for so many years more compared to Spurs, then that's the reality of it. Because I don't live there, right? For me, that's the way I see it. And of course, the players that Arsenal has had over the years. I don't want Spurs to get over one of us, man. I'll be very honest. What about you, Ashish? Would you rather see Spurs or Man United in the top four?
I think I'd rather see us compared to others because I think what's the
That's
funniest
obvious.
part? That's purely the bias. But when you see the three teams, they're just dropping points for fun. It's like when you think that some team would want to capitalize, they just lose. And if you see the way they lose, it's so funny. You know how Spurs lost to Brighton. We're on a losing spree, so I can't be judging others, and I'm not in a position to do that. But Manchester United against Liverpool, you know what's going to happen, right? But there is a game, Spurs also have a game against Liverpool, so there is again a
Yeah,
chance where
and
we could be fine if we lose a game, but still we have a game in hand that is the only we are best placed to get that fourth spot. But I don't think so. We have that squad. I really don't think. I want it
you
to
know,
happen, but
okay.
I'm still open to it. What
It's,
happens
it's
is good.
interesting that you say that, Ashish. By the way, again, people, anyone who joined new, do like the stream, do check out Ashish's channel, Indian Gunner, as well. Very close to 20K, and hopefully we'll get to at least 2.5K by the end of this month, right? So let's help us there. But absolutely, good comments here. Maguire, Ronaldo, and attitude, and Richarlison and performance. I think he's probably given a little bit more respect than needed. Like, let's be honest about it. Even the Manchester United fans would agree there. Because Richarlison, why? अभी के लिए not great, but I think he has it in him. And Maguire hasn't done well in EPL for a good while. I don't even remember the last time he did well in EPL. Probably not with Manchester United. That's how far we have to go. Like probably
I
in
think
Euros.
Rishikesh is in this comment is actually putting Richarlison down. Yeah, you put some respect on Richarlison's name, bro. He's better than
I agree, man.
Maguire.
And again, I really don't know how is he captain. And again, I know we are kind of beating around the bush around Maguire, but unfortunately, that is what the reality of it for a Manchester United fan. Well, yes, just like Ole, don't listen to them. Ralph, a big letdown. And I think it's a bit of both, right? Because I think the board never trusted him, and I don't think he also kind of gave it his 100% because he is the father of Klopp and Tuchel. That's what we all know about, right? So I think it was kind of strange to kind of not see that in these few months, right?
If I can give a small comment on that, I think people some Manchester United fans say that Ranić out, we should not have given him a time. Ralf Ranić, I'm pretty much sure I've seen his career, what he's won, what he's not won. He was never a good coach.
Yeah.
Like, he's not done something really huge. He's been a fantastic director of football. I mean, he's been the kind of players that signings he's going to make, that's going to be superb. Now, his recent comment was that Manchester United need a big cleaning, like not 1 or 2 signings, but 10 signings.
Correct.
10 signings. And imagine Cristiano Ronaldo was brought to Manchester United as the cherry on top to get them towards that Premier League title under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it all crumbled, it all fell apart. The reality is that Ralf Ranić knows the problem, but the question is, will they let him do that cleansing?
Yeah, that's actually the great point, because for me, see, that's the thing, right? The time given, I don't know. In reality, is there time for the managers in today's day and age? And that's the huge difference versus what it used to be, right? But again, coming to our game, obviously Chelsea, Arsenal. So I'll actually share the fixture list, because you spoke about the fixtures, right? Ashish, आपने बोला था कि यार सभी teams के पास they have difficult fixtures, and I don't see any team having easy set of fixtures among them. So it's interesting. Now again, let's actually look at Arsenal, for instance, right? So Arsenal ka I hope we are able to see, right? So obviously after Chelsea game tonight, which we'll talk about more in detail, like in Manchester United just this weekend, West Ham again not easy. Leeds the March they're doing pretty well. Spurs, which is probably a 6 pointer. Newcastle probably वो safe रहेंगे उससे like, but they'll try to show their as in their power, so as to speak, or they already their players are making statements. So I think again Everton might be in the relegation battle. Who knows? So Lord, every fixture is extremely crucial, but let's see Spurs because Spurs that I think really is direct rival for you right now. Now they are playing what Leicester, Liverpool, right? Arsenal. So these are the three fixtures which probably will be the make or break for Spurs. I think rest of it, I think they'll probably be easy for them. But I think Manchester United on the other hand, probably like Arsenal have very tough fixtures as well. Like Chelsea, they are okay. Actually, not right. They are having just a couple of tough fixtures. So for me, if I am seeing it in a neutral, in terms of these clubs, I am seeing possibly Manchester United being, the club which can take the points, but they are on probably the worst form in terms of how they're playing. I know Arsenal probably are as well, but let's be honest, in terms of the way the play is going, gameplay, I think probably Manchester United, I'll say, but I think Arsenal have it in them to kind of, beat other teams. I can see definitely that Spurs, Arsenal being that, difference maker, Ashish. So for Chelsea, you told about Tomiyasu, possibly being fit. I don't know, but I think Arteta recently played Xhaka at left back as well, if I remember right. Correct. So, where are you on Tavares? Because I think, yeah, he makes a lot of mistakes, but don't you think it's only fair when Tierney is not there to go with Tavares by default?
The biggest problem with Tavares is that his defensive awareness. Like, even if you want to do an offside trap, Arsenal have actually done pretty good in terms of back four of Tomiyasu, Tierney, Gabriel, and White. So that's what happened when Tavares came on, and he was substituted twice during during 2 games. So I think the defensive awareness is developing. He's a developing player. He's not someone like Bukayo Saka who was doing wonders, in the under 21s and everything, and he was slotted back in, and he was he fitted like a glove. It's not like that. Tavares is good in physicality. Arsenal versus Liverpool during the start of the season, we had a game. Tavares did fantastically well physically against Salah. But one mistake, Jota scored a goal and boom, there was a flurry of goals and all came from his side. So Liverpool knew that there is something that we can challenge from that side. So I think if Tomiyasu, I believe he can play. I think he's two-footed, so he can play as a left back as well. We can try that. And Ben White has already played.
I think Ben White center back I think he played center back also.
Yes, he for Japanese national team he plays as a center back in a 3-man center back, 3-man defense. So he plays as a center back three. I think that's one of the best ways to approach this game, purely defensive. If Tomiyasu comes in, if not Tomiyasu, I don't know. We've not seen him play as a left back. We've seen Cedric play as a left back, which is also a kind of a nightmare as well. So if Tomiyasu can play as a left back and Ben White can of course play as a right back, and we can put Rob Holding as a centre back. Rob Holding against Chelsea. Rob Holding and Hector Bellerin against Chelsea they've done something special. So that is a thing that we can try, but that's all.
We're there because you never know if Lukaku might be thrown in all of a sudden. And we'll talk about the team news for sure, but a good point there, absolutely. But yes, by the way, again, people do like the stream, it helps. I am seeing right now there are just 24 likes. Come on, we can easily double the number of likes so that we have double the number of people. And of course, again, check it out. You can see the link in the description below. The links are there, just the press of a button. यहाँ पर Prasanna is like Charity FC back in full effect today, bhai. Absolutely, Prasanna. You know it. I mean, it's a Chelsea thing, and we kind of do it, but against Arsenal, I won't think so. Especially last year, हुआ था Jorginho did that almost with Kepa. I think that moment has gone. It happens like once in 15 months, put it that way. Or I think that moment is gone, and the fact that recent performance, we like again Crystal Palace won. That first half performances was one of our worst performances. I'll be honest and I'll tell you that, right? But with Tuchel, and that is what I'm glad that we have Tuchel, man. The guy is a serious manager. Halftime, I don't know, whatever he spoke, he didn't change anything when it came to the personal, but we just turned up. And that is why I feel that he'll remind the people about what happened with Jorginho. He was literally scolding Jorginho like he's like a kid, right? How kids are scolding in school, like when they're taught. You're literally scolding him on the pitch. So I won't be surprised if Jorginho gets a proper class and he's ready for this game. So I will actually start him. But talking about Arsenal midfield, you spoke about Chelsea midfield probably being strong, Ashish. Lokonga probably he's not fit, right? So yeah. So Lokonga is
Partey is mostly out for the season, mostly.
okay. That's bad for you, but yeah. So I think Lokonga is the only option, or you probably go other way around with maybe Elneny or someone.
I think Elneny has not been used, so he won't be used against Chelsea. So it is like a three-man midfield. I think it's going to be Xhaka, Odegaard, and Sambi in the midfield.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes,
I have actually put this. I don't know if you agree with this. मतलब मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ Tavares will be given a chance from the start. I think that's probably the fair deal for me. And they'll probably go the way that has suited them most. लेकिन हाँ, I won't be surprised if you go with a three-man midfield and probably try to kind of make it narrow. So अगेन बिग क्वेश्चन अप फ्रंट लाकाजेट के साथ क्या हो रहा है भाई ट्रांसफर हीरो आप बोलिए क्या हो रहा है मतलब व्हाट इज हैपनिंग मैन आई कांट बिलीव इट यू लेट ओबामेयांग गो व्हिच इज आई नो गुड रिडंस एंड वी विल स्पीक अबाउट इट बट Lacazette, man, as in, I think probably he's the most natural finisher that you have who's not been finishing, I know. But won't you prefer him? Like, just your choice.
I think the biggest issue with Lacazette is that so many good chances. If a striker is not scoring goals, I think Chelsea is the best example of a team that has been suffering without a striker since a long time. Like, you guys have spent so much on a striker and still haven't found someone. You have Kai Havertz who can finish better than Lukaku.
They're very, very smart. Again, Ashish is like,
so,
by the way,
it's not just Chelsea.
I take that. I take that, boss. Definitely. Chelsea are cursed when it comes to strikers. इसीलिए ना हम strikers को बना रहे हैं अभी. So Kai Havertz, come on, he scored the Champions League winning goal. I think he's a striker. Even for Germany, I am very surprised that वो false nine out, whatever you call him a 8 floating 8 false 9. No, he's a proper striker. He is extremely young. He is still figuring out things. I think in the way Chelsea play, I think the way we float, in terms of the forward line, he's got to be our striker. He's a focal point. But coming back to you, I think Martinelli is probably going to be the guy, or Nketiah. What about him? Would you risk him, or because he's played? I think he's played against.
I think yes, Nketiah has, but I think Lacazette will start today. I believe so. Lacazette might start today. It was out because of COVID recently, but I think Lacazette will start today because I think Martinelli out wide has been quite wonderful in a lot of ways. But then we got to figure out if who's going to be playing as a number 10, as a number 10, Smith Rowe or Odegaard. One of them has to be the provider. So I think Odegaard, he was the captain in the last game against Brighton, so he might start. So I believe we are going to go back to the factory settings restored. Something similar to that kind of a 11, but I don't know about Tavares, man. I really don't know. If Tavares starts, advantage Chelsea.
Wow. मतलब I know you know your stuff, लेकिन मैं तो सोच रहा यार natural flow ही रहेगा क्योंकि Arsenal मेरे ख्याल से 1 point minimum चाहिए, तो you have to score, and that's the reason I went with the natural kind of width there at full backs. Arsenal can go for Vieira. I seem said lot of comments यहाँ देख रहा हूँ. By the way, people, the questions that are coming, मैं स्टार कर रहा हूँ, हम आएंगे बहुत questions पर जो मैं big question करने वाला हूँ. So thanks for your questions. Keep them coming for sure. We are here, we're not running away for sure. लेकिन हाँ, Rajesh, and I think मैंने देखा है about Arteta. Really frank opinion भाई Ashish. What do you think? Arteta यार एक हफ्ते में एक ही गेम है, फिर भी you lost against teams where you expected to at least get a draw, if not a win, right? He has lost those 3. Don't you think Arteta is getting kind of a easy way compared to a lot of the managers in the Premier League? Or maybe that's the right way. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what do you think? Like Vieira looking like being an Arsenal legend, you can see Vieira doing wonders. What would he do with Arsenal? As in, just imagine. So won't you prefer that?
What has Vieira done actually? Like, I don't know. Like, I think he finished 5th with OGC Nice. I think he finished 5th. He then went to MLS.
He's beaten all the top sides and convincingly. It's not only like he's just about beaten. So the thing is, you can see the tactics are there. Crystal Palace, which was totally lame for a few seasons, he has turned them within a few months. You know what I mean? In terms of the way. So I'm telling the coach in Vieira, the fact that the footballing mind that he has, right? Apart from the fact that he knows Arsenal inside out, won't that kind of be a better solution? I know it's probably not the Arsenal way. You probably give your managers a lot of time, and that's probably how it should be. मतलब again, मैं यहाँ comment नहीं करने बैठ रहा कि क्या गलत है सही. I'm asking your opinion as an Arsenal fan because you are an Arsenal stan. You know what I'm talking about.
I like the way what Vieira is doing. I'm fully supporting. You know, when I was watching Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, I was supporting Crystal Palace not just because of Vieira as our legend, but because what he's done with the kind of players that he's literally relied on, a young team, fantastic team like
Mhm.
Conor Gallagher. I mean, Mark Gay. He's developed a lot of good players. He's definitely a good coach. That I just don't want to put him down in any way. But I think the way Arsenal are seeing it, irrespective of what I feel and all the fans feel, I think the board has given when they have met Arteta before, appointing him as the manager. Arteta told them that I want full power, in terms of I want my team, and it
Yes.
involves every single player that plays according to me. And for that, I was not expecting a good kind of board investing a lot of money until this European Super League happened, and everyone felt guilty, and everyone thought, what, we're going to make fans happy and we're going to spend a lot of money. That's what I think that has turned the tide. But if that's the case, I'm pretty much sure we need more investment on this squad, because right now this is not a squad. This is like, I don't know. I mean, if you go and check out in the last 3 or 4 games, our bench is filled with under 21 players. That's not a squad. That's you don't take that kind of squad, even though
Ashish,
we have
yeah.
one game a week. Yeah.
See, that is why my question is coming, na? Because one game a week, you said it just right. So, but despite all that, you're not able to get the players to kind of commit in terms of performance, in terms of consistency. Because yeah, you talk about the Lacazette and Ankit, yeah, it's basically cheap. Because maybe they're just following what Aubameyang did. Aubameyang was obviously he has disrespected Arteta in the past, or वही हुआ था. That is the fact. But again, coming to Aubameyang also, just the fact that Barcelona mein he did wonders for the first couple of months, and now suddenly say you're seeing again what used to happen in Arsenal. So you think it's good riddance? Where are you on that part? Is there a way
I
of
think
doing that?
I don't want to compare Obama, like he's left Arsenal. I just wish him well. The reason why I did not want him to continue at Arsenal is that I think the reason that was given was he's a captain, and he arrived in a team meeting late in a North London derby.
Mhm.
He did a
That's
lot
not
of things. He did a lot of things the disciplinary problems. That's been his problem at Dortmund as well. There are
yeah.
lots of issues of Aubameyang that has actually surfaced. But if you do that when you're 22 to 25, okay, we can agree. But if you do that when you're 32, and there are lots of youngsters, Arsenal, I don't think so. There are lots of senior players left. Everyone is a youngster there. So if they're looking up to you, they're looking up to Aubameyang. I don't think so. That's the right kind of attitude an Arsenal captain should. As strikers curse in Chelsea. There's a captain's curse at Arsenal.
Good one there. लेकिन हाँ, let me actually talk about Chelsea again, people. I know few Chelsea fans have joined as well. So again, Chelsea fans, and even if you're neutral, put in your starting 11s. It's Chelsea Arsenal, the big game. Trust me, हमने actually बात की है about fixtures. Arsenal need to get at least a point, and Chelsea, I think it's Arsenal. That's why we need, and the fact that हम वो history देना नहीं चाहते Arsenal को वापस से कि हम three लगातार kind of matches हारे against teams in the Premier League, right? So let's see. As in right now, Chelsea के लिए I am going with this starting 11. Let me remove that banner. But again, people in the chat, and I'll probably explain that first before coming to Ashish as well. Now, see, my idea of this is firstly, this is a system that we'll end with, but we have to eventually change the system. Against Arsenal, we need to attack. There's no two ways about it. We cannot go on the back foot. वहाँ पर वापस we don't want a Jorginho moment. We have to basically be on the attack, and I think up front, as much as Havertz has been a man, he has been really a stalwart. I don't think he looked the part in Crystal Palace at all. He's really fatigued. Or Lukaku के लिए the only kind of motivation can be it's Arsenal. The fact that his probably the best performance that came this season was against Arsenal. Maybe it was Aston Villa बोल सकते हो, लेकिन definitely against Arsenal he did really well. No, not that they have Pablo Mari anymore, but I think he's not going to play. But certainly I think Lukaku with Reece James being back as well, for me it suits perfectly. Just try him for the strength because of its Arsenal, and Werner will make the runs. Mount is in great form as well. I would like to give credit to kind of Loftus-Cheek to finally get a goal after what 50 odd attempts. So if you don't start him now, when will he actually give him the fruits of what you kind of did, right? So for me, he needs to start because Kante, as much as he's the player for Chelsea, वो form में नहीं है. Even he's looked fatigued. Jorginho, yes, because it's Arsenal, that motivation that इस बार नहीं करनी गलती तो खेलो वापस, and no matter what. Aspilicueta, captain, I think the crosses of Arsenal, I have to pick out, because yes, that's the one of the reasons I picked out fullbacks to play proper for Arsenal, because I think Chelsea are vulnerable on crosses. So as Aspilicueta is probably our best when it comes to defending crosses, and that's why I would want him. And I think the rest pick themselves. But quickly, I would take Ashish's view on the goalkeeper front, because there is news here, Ashish. Kepa, I know opposition fans trolled us literally. Even till date, I'm getting that. But the fact that I think, let's be honest, he has done pretty well in the recent year compared to what he did the previous year. But all of a sudden, there is news that he was very well managed by Thomas Tuchel, and now that he's not started the FA Cup semi-final, he's not happy. So those things are coming up. So where are you on the goalkeeper rotation front? Because Arsenal at the time also had that. Na, आपके पास like Burnley was kind of debating whether he's number one or Ramsdale. So are you one of those who believes in that rotation of goalkeepers? Does it really matter? What's your opinion for Chelsea?
I think Thomas Tuchel felt that Mendy was the right person, to play that game. And he is not wrong. I think, but I understand what Kepa, since getting a new partner in his life, is actually been performing well, which is actually good. Sometimes, it leaves you devastated, but to get you back to where you were, what Kepa was, the most expensive goalkeeper in terms of his quality, what he was. So I think if Kepa is doing everything right, he deserves to be number one in any other team. But if he's not getting that at Chelsea, it's his right to actually look for it somewhere else. So
yeah, good point.
FA Cup was one of the reasons. Also, I think Club World Cup. I think he did not get a chance to become a goalkeeper.
Club World Cup, it was kind of fair. He was definitely part of the entire squad, and as a Super Cup, Club World Cup, and so that's the thing. I think it was Carabao Cup final. So Carabao Cup final, all the blame went on him because he came on late and he didn't save any penalties compared to what he did in the past. He has saved us. For me, he was a Super Cup hero. If you really ask me, it was probably him, right? So. I think, again, knowing the transfer market so good, Ashish, that's why I'm asking you. Because it's a fact. Like you said, Kepa needs to move, and maybe Chelsea are thinking that, okay, now if we play him, and if he makes a mistake, again, his market value will go down. इतने मुश्किल से Kepa का market value थोड़ा सा बढ़ा है. That is maybe the reason. Don't you think so?
I don't know what Chelsea are trying to do here. They would want two best goalkeepers to go in the next season as well. Because, but here's my question to you: would you want Kepa to start in the FA Cup final, though?
Absolutely no. I have a correct answer. Absolutely no, especially FA Cup final, because मैं Jorginho के बारे में I said right about making the mistake, and that's why I want him. But come on, this is a league game. We are not kind of losing a cup, and here FA Cup, trust me, we are the kings of the FA Cup along with Arsenal. And you have to agree, Arsenal and Chelsea have been the FA Cup kind of kings in the last decade and a half, right? So. For me,
yeah, but we have won it the most. We have won it the most amount of times.
Exactly, and we have been in the most number of finals in this decade. Correct. So for us,
true.
It is imperative that we not only get to the finals, we win it this time, or that is something that this squad needs. One mistake and that confidence is dhajia ud jayegi, that like they say, and that is what happened in that final as well. As much as मैं वापस बोलूंगा, वो रीस जेम्स का जो था वो एक हैंडबॉल था लेस्टर सिटी का, वो दिया नहीं गया था. But anyway, that's a separate element altogether.
But I think Carabao Cup final was Lukaku offside.
See, come on, you.
I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that way. Correct? I didn't feel that way.
No. Yeah, exactly. See, again, I won't go into the arguments of the traditional teams getting a subconscious bias by the VAR, by the media. वो एक अलग ही टॉपिक चल रहा है.
फाइनल में एंथनी टेलर तो नहीं है ना?
वो देखना पड़ेगा actually. That is the thing, because to be honest, the recent game at Crystal Palace में it wasn't too bad. I was very scared about Anthony Taylor being there, but again, he didn't do too bad. He tried his best. I have to say, he booked Havertz when entire world dives. And there were actually Sky Sports saying that इसको red card मिलना चाहिए. भाई साहब, आपको सही. I don't know what to say, man. Again, Indian Gunnar, a big fan. Absolutely, bro. He's a great content creator, and of course, he knows his stuff. हम just discuss कर रहे हैं अभी Chelsea Arsenal, but we'll come to more. No risk, just go out because this is our game of the season. Yeah, Suraj probably has a point. Chelsea Arsenal, Chelsea Man United, Chelsea Liverpool. Probably ये 3 games हमारे season हो गया. To be very honest, that is our game. We don't have anything else, and that is what I'm saying, that Chelsea have clutch players who wait for moments. again, Werner is performing. That's my logic. I have gone on saying that Werner, I was a big fan of his work rate, but last 2 months में मैं खुद बोला हूँ कि he's a fraud, and last month में मैं वापस change हुआ, and we are reactionary, man. We are fans. But the fact is, मेरा logic ये है, it is because the transfer window is coming close. Werner realizes that, and he's really risen up to the occasion. That's really my logic. I don't know what you think, Ashish, but Werner, like, where are you on Werner as a player, man? Especially recent 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure you saw the performances, right? As in, he really did well against Real Madrid, especially.
Werner, right now, the way he's playing, under Thomas Tuchel, is a good wide player who stretches the defense really good. I mean, the Real Madrid second leg, fantastic performance. Shame that Real Madrid won that. I mean, it was a very good contest by both the teams. Shame in the sense, I thought that goal from Marcos Alonso was there. I really thought, and I thought, oh my God, that's it. That's the final dagger.
But it, dear people, come on. Ashish is, deep down is a Chelsea fan as well. Come on, Ashish, bol again. But yeah,
see, I loved how the other Champions League games that happened was not that gripping. But when you saw first leg, second leg, Real Madrid, Chelsea. First leg, of course, outclassed by Real Madrid, but second leg, the way you guys fought back, Real Madrid did not know until unless Rodrigo's equalizer. I don't think so. Real Madrid were there in the game. Chelsea had completely outclassed Real Madrid, but then.
मैं वहाँ भी same चीज बोलूँगा, Ashish, because what happened there, if you see, is like these players really stood up, and then again we had 3 to 4 players on the pitch जिनको अपना future नहीं मालूम है. So there is subconscious. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose. There's a subconscious switch off. That's what exactly happened, and that happens when you are not kind of committed long term to a certain club. I know in a match situation आप इतना सोचते नहीं हो, but like I said, it's really subconscious. You're really much more committed if you kind of know your future. You're much more kind of, as in without any kind of thought, you're just playing. That is the only thing that I'm hoping with this ownership.
But I kind of disagree because Antonio Rudiger scored a goal and he was of full passion. I mean, he was crazy. But Benzema, with a very great movement, scored the winner in that game. Apart from that, I think
he had a bad slip as well, Rudiger. So you can say, but I was actually okay. Let me put it directly. I was directly telling to first leg Christiansen, man. We need to get rid of Christiansen, man. The guy is like a liability now. I have to say, as much as I love Christiansen when he was there, especially in the Champions League final. But again, Alisson comes in, more passes than entire United midfield. Wow, is it true? Is it true? I don't know. It's just taking a fun, I guess. Like an interesting one. Yeah, come on. I have interest in Lionel Messi. I have interest in Cristiano Ronaldo. I have interest in Ian Robin making a comeback to Chelsea in his prime. Interest होने से क्या होता है भाई? Reece James bleeds blue. He literally said that he's going to play in Chelsea without any money. That's what Reece James is. At least for a timing तो नहीं जाने वाला. Maybe in future. I will not discount that. मतलब football has changed. We don't have one.
Well, there is news that Real Madrid are making a bid ready of 70 million euros for Reece James.
Yeah, let them make, man. And then again, we had bids coming in, man. Remember, we had for Callum Hudson-Odoi. We didn't let Callum Hudson-Odoi go at that time. I know it's a different situation now with ownership. We are, as in shortage of money for the timing at least. But certainly, as in Reece James is not going. I have to put it out there. I'm literally getting a lot of DMs there. But yeah, coming back to the game, people here, I think, in terms of the 11, we kind of have discussed already. But okay, there were questions about the Europa League, the position that Arsenal will end at. Ashish, first of all, what is your prediction? That what will be your end of the season, your honest prediction, and what will you be happy with? What will you not be happy with?
I will not be happy anything below 6th.
Okay, so obviously it depends on basically
my honest opinion is that Arsenal might get 5th.
Okay, interesting. And 4th for you, Spurs, Conte effect.
Might be because he's more confident with his team, but that totally depends upon an injury to Son or Kane.
Yeah,
that is also
again,
there.
I think they are the key.
They are the key. And I've got to mention Dejan Kulusevski as well. He's doing really good. I mean, quite an underrated performance because he's going under the radar. Nobody's rating him. But when he gets the ball in a transition, his pace, he's going out wide, his crosses, they're changing the scenario for Spurs.
So, let me put it this way. Maybe Spurs मैं बोलूंगा यार they should finish top 4 because अगर वो नहीं finish करेंगे then Kane is 100% going to move because he needs Champions League football and so will Son. Imagine a Manchester United all of a sudden getting Son and Kane one of the two, right? That will be something else and that's a possibility. I genuinely, I don't know, my gut says that if Tottenham don't finish top 4, Kane will probably stay in England itself and he'll be at Manchester United. And that is why I want Spurs to finish fourth. And I know as a Chelsea fan, I'm saying it again, but yes, okay.
But why would he pick a team that? Why would he pick a team which will not win in the near future? He's already with a team which is not winning, right? Anything. If he's smart enough, he'll go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, proper, absolutely. But Ten Hag under at least he'll have a new challenge. Put it that way. So I think
if he actually wants to win something, he needs to go to Real Madrid. They need a striker badly.
Do you think so? No, I disagree, man, because Benzema has looked better than ever in his career. इतना अच्छा मैं Benzema को देखा ही नहीं हूँ. So I actually feel Benzema has a minimum of 18 months, if not more, in his career. And at the prime, I'm talking, in Real Madrid. Mbappe is going, right? And that's, like, let's be honest, as much as, as in a lot of reporters deny, etc., PSG deny, Mbappe is definitely going. So if Mbappe is going, Benzema is already there. I know they are the Galacticos of the old. लेकिन आज के दिन में imagine if they are getting maybe a Haaland, who's obviously going to City now. He's not coming, so Kane goes there. I don't think Kane is like a Michael Owen kind of striker who can kind of come and change the game probably just as a substitute, or he'll be happy with that, or he can play along with Benzema and Mbappe. Where do you see that?
What's the best part about Harry Kane? Even if he does not score goals, he can create. That's what he does with Son.
Yeah. So he's a number 10
with Son. Yes, if he can do that with Son, don't you think he can do that with Mbappe as well in a transition?
Maybe, yeah, but again, like
there is space.
I feel a bit too attacking, right? I mean, I don't know. Their midfield is also kind of leggy, right? I know they did absolutely fantastic Chelsea ke saath, lekin I still feel they need someone who's kind of more like little bit probably a proper winger who can probably track back more. And here we have Nidhi in the house from Menace and the Monk. Thanks, Nidhi, join करने के लिए. Spurs look confident right now, but remember, just a few weeks back, Arsenal looked set for it. Even a third position was possible. Believe me, there will be twists, and who knows it better than Nidhi? I don't know, no one. Because I think Liverpool fan in the house, so obviously he knows that what Liverpool have done is a madness. But quick prediction, man. I mean, because the Menace and the Monk is in the house, what do you think, Ashish? Liverpool, what is the gut? It's City or Liverpool's? The title.
The title is City's.
Title is City, and don't tell me Champions League is Liverpool. Don't tell me. No.
I want the Champions League to go to Real Madrid or Villarreal.
Yeah, I think most of the neutrals would want that. If I'm being really honest. But again, nothing against Liverpool or City. You know what I mean. It's just that the fact that Liverpool over the years, all my friends, Liverpool friends, have been sounding me out like about when I talk about EPL, they talk about UCL. That's the conversation. That's their best bet, and if they are going further away, that'll be another kind of as in strike to me. And the other way around on the league, I think Manchester United fans feel it most because Liverpool, if they win the title, man, imagine they'll be neck to neck, 20 titles. Kane to Barca. Well, yeah, Barca to puri dunya ja rahi. I think everyone is going a trip. It's a trip to Barca. That's what the summer program is. But Ashish, again, because transfer market, your stuff. What is your feeling? Aubameyang is probably going to be their first choice striker come next season, or do you think they'll get a proper striker?
They might go for a proper striker. I think they just got him as a backup, so they would want to give him a new contract as well. So I think they're looking at a lot of players. They would want to bring in. They're linked with Mbappe. Someone linked them with Mbappe as well, and then they realize, oh, it's Barcelona, and that's not something synonymous with money. So it stopped. It was a fake news. So I don't think so. I think they're looking for a striker, but I think Aubameyang might stay at Barcelona.
Yeah, Aubameyang will stay, but the big question is, will he be the first choice, or will they kind of, because already the kind of as in the wheels are kind of falling off in the last 2 weeks. I know it's just a very short period, just like for Arsenal, maybe last 3 weeks it's been falling, but we shouldn't be reacting so much. But yeah, as in there are a lot of gaps still. Probably Luke De Jong, who would have thought he would have been the mainstay when it comes to Barca. But him or Depay probably will go. You're right. As in, it'll be.
And Antoine Griezmann is coming back to Barcelona. So
But
That is also
I
the case.
you think so? But again, like I really doubt, man. I mean, that was a big problem for them, right? Barca, the way they played, if they're getting a big fish in the pond again, it'll be a problem. That's what my thought is.
They're still suffering from the previous management making a lot of mistakes. But I think
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid will not be making his loan move permanent.
permanent.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Griezmann is going back.
Yeah, because I doubt if he fits in many clubs, the way that he's kind of carried himself, just like, a lot of other strikers out there. But again, a good player, nothing against him. Question to Ashish, are you favor of Arteta staying at Arsenal next season if you finished in top four? As in, absolutely. I think that's probably your main target, put it so. I think that'll be a, tick mark there itself. As in, give him a, I don't know, what would you extend? A 3-year contract again to Arteta? But I think
I,
probably,
I,
yeah.
I, I think three year would be the best bet. So
Okay.
2+1 would be good.
Okay, we have Tebogo in the house. Thank you for joining. City title and Champions League. Real Madrid is what they want. Okay, fair enough. Again, City winning the title. I also have one more theory there. A lot of theory that is running today, by the way. Ankit's bit. So last decade, May, if you see again, a lot of, I think it's a Twitter post kind of thing, right? But in the last decade, in England, we have been the most successful club in terms of the trophies overall won. Correct. So City, I think we are just. I think there's a difference of one. If City get that title, they are probably going to be leapfrogging it, which they're anyway going to. It's very hard that City won't win another trophy this year. But again, that's one more reason why. So for me, it's like between the devil and the deep blue sea. I'm not able to, kind of pick any there. Absolutely. Um, I think Thiago more pressing than United. That's yeah. Thoughts on Thiago, man? I don't know. Like again, maybe he kind of reminded me of almost of Fabregas. As in again, being Chelsea and Arsenal fans, we have seen best of Fabregas, right? As in maybe that kind of player we haven't seen from years in the Premier League. So probably that is the difference maker for Liverpool. You think Thiago's form?
I've seen Thiago in his Bayern days, not in the Bundesliga, but in the Champions League. If you have seen 8-2 Barcelona versus Bayern Munich, you would see the Thiago's best thing that he brings to the table was a quick fire passing. He knows 2-3 passes before he gets the ball. That's the Thiago. But he's been struggling since joining Liverpool. This is the real Thiago that you guys are seeing. So I'm pretty much. I mean, you guys have to enjoy it, even as neutral fans. He is a clutch player. He's been a clutch player, and by the fact that he's doing it for Liverpool, he's showing it that he's not just a Bundesliga level player. He's done that in Champions League, I know, but Champions League is not a 38 game league in England is different than
It's
Champions
a
League. Champions
tactical
League games.
game out there, right? In the Champions League, very much so, and in the Premier League, it's totally different. But he's got it finally, man. So, मतलब मैं भी यार हाथ उठा करना चाहूँगा because I have been one of them who's been saying that Thiago was brilliant for the La Liga and for Bundesliga, but in Premier League I didn't see him. In Champions League I saw him great, but again he's proved me wrong. Very difficult to see Kane going to Spain. The last major superstar who was English to move to Spain was David Beckham. English major players hardly leave England, absolutely, and that's the thing, right? Because I think Owen Hargreaves was probably more German than English. So he was, there in Germany from the. I think he's more Canadian than even German, to be very honest. But yeah, David Beckham, Michael Owen, those are the players that I remember. Of course, Tomori and Tammy Abrams of the likes move, but that's because unko game time nahi milti. There's a different reason altogether. And Smallings of the world, they move out. But I think yeah, it's pretty clear that Kane is not going to move. That's what I feel as well. Yes, absolutely. Let's get the likes up as always. Depay will be sold next season. Atletico is going to buy him permanently. As now, Barca are looking to sign Leva if everything falls out. Like I know that. Oliver Kahn has gone on to say that we are stupid to sell Lewandowski, someone who scores you 40 goals a season. So if Oliver Kahn says that, he means it. And knowing Oliver Kahn, like the guy that he is, he's like brash. That's how he's always been in his career, right? So I will be really, really surprised if Lewandowski goes to Barca. But Depay, man, do you see him coming back to Premier League?
No, might be Newcastle, but otherwise no.
Yeah, Newcastle is a good bet actually because I think Newcastle they probably need that floating striker as well. So I think probably that is a good bet to be honest. Arteta must leave. Arsenal ceiling has been reached by Arteta. पता नहीं यार मतलब top 4 मिल जाए ऋषिकेश तो I think Arsenal fans are happy. You just heard it there from Ashish. Like Ashish knows stuff inside out about Arsenal. Trust me. So yes, the grass is always greener on the other side. हम देखे यार when Lampard was there, we were like okay no we're not doing great etc. We were damn lucky to get Tuchel. Just imagine if Chelsea wouldn't have got Tuchel, where we would have been. Just think about it, because if someone else was there in this situation where we didn't have an ownership proper, trust me, we would have done even worse than what Arsenal and Man United are doing. And probably I could have seen that future for Chelsea. Now, because Tuchel is there, and I hope that he's still there come the end of next season, now things are different. And for me, I think, again, my thing is Arsenal are probably doing the right thing. Yes, at times थोड़ा सा overrate किया जाता है. That also I agree, but I don't think that's reason enough to sack a manager. I think Arteta, right now he's having the time to prove that, okay, there's one game a week. Let me actually try and get us top four. Even if he, like Ashish said, he's happy with fifth. So I think fifth, if they get, and they are still able to pull players because of the Europa League, which is probably now more celebrated. I think probably Arsenal fans are going to take that, and then let's see where we are. But what about Henry, man? As in, where's Henry's future? Because I was thinking like Henry will be your ultimate manager, right?
He's not been a very good manager. Like, he's been to a lot of places, and now the best thing that actually worked for him was being an assistant coach with Belgium. That's where he is right now. So I think it's, you got to understand, you got to accept this, that Gary Neville was not a good manager, so he didn't try it again, because he realized, no, the best bet is try to become a pundit, and you can achieve a lot, and the career could be big. So I think it's not his cup of tea, I guess. But I would love to see him, try at a club, get them to something better, and then I think, why not?
Yes, yeah, Rahul, sorry यार आपका comment मैंने skip कर दिया, तो यार like I try and take all the comments that I think need to be addressed. लेकिन Rahul यार वही है, like mods are probably in the house, in the family, so I probably would have skipped it by mistake. Sorry about that. But again, people, if you want to kind of prioritize, there's always a way of super chatting. There's always kind of putting your questions. I'll start it, and I'll come to your questions later on as well. Tebo, talking about Haaland to City. Now again, we have spoken about Pep Guardiola being, the ultimate manager in the Premier League. Klopp probably closest to him recently. Lekin, again, Alvarez, Haaland, they are doing a madness. It is the end game done. Is it done? Premier League, like, hum Super League, is reality? Is this something that we need to go for? What do you think?
I think the only biggest issue is that we are letting people change our beautiful game of football, because 300 million for a player. You pay his release clause. That's the least amount of price that you pay. Then you pay his father some good amount of millions, because he's inspired by Mino Raiola. Mino Raiola gets a big chunk of the piece, and Haaland, of course, 500k a week. He earns almost up to Ronaldo. Ronaldo, I think, earns 510k a week, and now he's demanding 500k a week. The best thing is that he's not going to Manchester United because he wants to win stuff. He's going to change the Premier League in a lot of ways, but he's been struggling with injuries, and I think, of course, he'll add a good value to Man City's squad, but he'll definitely find it hard in the Premier League. Come on, it's not that easy.
Like, again, we cannot compare basically Werner and Haaland, but I think there's a reality of it. Here, these are youngsters, probably 20-25 years of age, who are coming on, and it's a totally different ball game. Messi, talk about the best in the world, probably the best of all time, arguably, right? Again, I'm not going to get into Messi, Ronaldo here because of the situation that we are in, but the fact that Messi found it a problematic situation at PSG tells you that a change of atmosphere can change a lot of things. So I think we need to give it time. Like, I think they have done absolutely right thing. They're getting two young people who can play strikers, or they already have like loads of people. So options, plenty. Problems are plenty, and good problem to have, right? यहाँ पर X-Park बोलते हैं with the sentence Atletico will buy him permanently. I mean Griezmann, cause there's a clause, if he plays 40% of the games, they'll have to buy him permanently, and he's already played. Okay, I don't know if that's true. Ashish, do you know about this?
I think there is some clause, yes, but I think that
because, I think probably Griezmann to Atletico is a better fit, man, because João Felix is going. He has to go, man. I thought João Felix will probably go to City. The way that he plays, he's probably the Kai Havertz, the floating striker that City needed.
In the last two transfer windows, he's been linked with Arsenal as well a lot. João Felix.
Actually, yeah, we have to talk about that, man. Come on, like you know your Arsenal stuff. Okay, Statman stuff's in the out. Big up again, a big Liverpool fan. Interesting. We have a couple of Liverpool content creators in the house, and that's good to know, because I'm pretty sure that what happened yesterday. You are on the high, and you've probably been on the high for a long time. But again, it's a cycle. Congrats. That's what I can say. I don't want to kind of rub it into United fans as well. The Premier League is never done. Well, that's what we love the Premier League. Again, what if sudden say something happens behind the scenes and Pep Guardiola goes to Brazil in real, as much as he has said no, but who knows, that might be a possibility and things might change again, because they had a great squad always, but didn't dominate as much before, right? So yeah, talk about Arsenal, man. Come on, over to you. You can see the names here. Which one is real?
Which you're talking about transfers, right?
Yeah, Diamants, Neves, Nunes. Anyone's?
I think we are keeping tabs on a lot of players. Youth elements, yes. Darwin Núñez, we've tracked him for a very long time.
He's going to, I think, Dortmund today. The news is.
Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, Darwin Núñez is going to Dortmund. The latest news, just 2 hours before I read, and these are, as in proper believable reporters.
I don't think so. Dortmund have that much amount of money to spend, because I think I've read a lot of articles which suggest that
they'll get from Haaland, 75 million euros.
But they're asking more than that. They're asking for 80 million.
But Darwin Núñez. I think they will probably be negotiating, because I think Dortmund is the ideal place for him, man. Like just the next, as in the pedestal, as I say, right? For me, him coming to the Premier League right away, I'm not too sure. As in, he's more like a Champions League kind of striker, who kind of runs in behind, who kind of is basically very good in the air. So he's more like that kind of a striker, but he's not someone who kind of really works his socks off. Again, I might be wrong, people commenting, but which is the ideal striker? Okay, Darwin Núñez is one, but which is that striker that you seek as an Arsenal fan, or do you think is real?
I think Victor Osimhen. We're scouting a lot of players. João Felix, Victor Osimhen, Darwin Núñez. So even we've had talks with Paulo Dybala as well. So 4-5 people, even Luka Jovic. So these are the players that we are looking at the moment. But I think we go the closest that we wanted in terms of Arteta, his system striker, Dusan Vlahovic was the guy. And I think, with Juventus, it's not been, that of a good pasture for him. But still, I think he's the sort of player that you would want as well in your team. But things just don't go your way sometimes. And in terms of midfield, I think we're looking at Ruben Neves, we're looking at Yuri Tielemans. So I think minimum of 3 players are definitely there on the agenda.
Interesting. Dani Ceballos, man, like the guy Real Madrid के साथ पता नहीं अभी Champions League जीत जाएगा. There's a possibility. Lekin, he's been linked to Inter. Even I heard that, Dishant, absolutely. The Inter might kind of, I don't know if they'll lose Barella, because Barella is a player who kind of, can be probably, fitting that Real Madrid set in the long run. I don't know. If they are able to get Dani Ceballos, probably Inter, Serie A, he's not a bad player for that, right? What do you think, Inter, the way they play?
Dani Ceballos would be a fantastic player in Serie A because of the way they play. It's not a quick kind of a league. Ceballos is really good. He's got quick feet, but in the League he really struggled for Arsenal. He really struggled for Arsenal for 2 consecutive seasons. He was on loan. Initially, yes, he did fantastic against Burnley, sold us dreams, but then we realized, my God, he got caught out in a lot of positions, made a lot of mistakes, did not get much time to think. Premier League was too quick for him. I think Serie A would be really good for him. He might, want to make a name for himself, like Theo Hernandez, Hakimi.
Yeah, I think this is a good point by Exparth again, because as in Adeyemi probably going to go Dortmund might not allow them to fight for Darwin. I think that's a point for sure. But I think Adeyemi is a long-term plan that's been going on for like months together. So who knows? There's more happening. AC Milan Saudi takeover is going to happen. They want to spend. Yes, भाई हो जाए यार मैं तो बोलता हूँ मतलब again AC Milan I don't know Ashish we know that's my Serie A team right so basically Kaka fan I don't know if you can see Kaka so I'm a huge Kaka fan so मतलब I really want man AC Milan they really bottled it man they bottled in the Coppa Italia proper I don't know how could they 3-0 man come on they had a chance to probably go for the cup but looks like it
but they think they're going to win the Scudetto they're going to win the Scudetto
I still want them, obviously, but I feel it's going to be Inter, man. The inner winning
No.
mentality is going to come by. No, let's see. Let's hope.
True. Winning mentality, true. But I think Inter's defense
Okay,
might let them down.
talk about Inter. We have the Inter guru here, Uncle Sharma in the house. Yes, Bahraini or not Saudi. Okay, thank you for confirming that. But I just need a proper investor, man. You got it right, Uncle Sharma. Obviously, like again, people do check them out. Pretty good channel. I always follow his videos, especially for the Inter games. And big up to Chelsea perspective as well. My brother in the house, absolutely. And yes, Chelsea perspective. Do get in your predictions. I know you just did a massive stream as well, but hopefully, we get the predictions right. And for me, it's the Arsenal game, the Manchester United game, and the Liverpool game. These are the three games left for the season. So for me, that is what our season is all about. And apart from the ownership news, right? Okay. Tejas Sharma asking me now again. Tejas, आपने सुना ही है मेरा literally every second video I talk about this. ठीक है. रोमेलो लुकाकू वर्नर दोनों में से एक पक्का जाएगा. ठीक है. We cannot probably offer both from the way that their transfer value will be quoted at. Ashish, you are saying both. If you were Chelsea, who would you have kept? Lukaku or
Werner.
Really? Wow. But Werner hasn't done anything, man.
He gives a lot of value. You might say otherwise. I think the thing that he came clutch twice against Real Madrid in two consecutive seasons. I think Werner adds more value than Lukaku, because no matter whatever happened, you just can't. The most that I've heard Werner weeping that recently he said that his positioning with German national team, he's compared that with Chelsea. That's the most he's done. He's not done a Lukaku going out and all out and saying all those stuff. That's not right. So I think he's been a decent kind of professional. So I think Werner should stay and Lukaku should leave.
Interesting. I get that, but again, the fact that we are giving him a second chance, and the second chance, I don't want it to go so easily. I think look to how Werner has proved himself in the last 1 month. Maybe Lukaku should try and do that. If he does that this month, I'll still give him a chance. But again, you have a great point there. Voice cracking a bit. Again, people do confirm again. I know in the between it was cracking. It's probably a StreamYard issue. I know that has been happening in the last 48 hours with StreamYard. I think it should be okay now. So do confirm that if anyone is still hearing the cracking noise more. AC Milan's last few games are pure hell. Absolutely. That's one more point. You're right. Well, watch along of today's match. Aniket, give me 1 hour. मैं confirm करता हूँ. I don't know, Ashish, do you do watch alongs as well?
I do watch along. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. As in, do check out Indian Gunnar as well, people. लेकिन हम publish करेंगे. Always check out our community page. Check out basically our posts on social media. हम करते हैं तो definitely post करेंगे, right? So we'll be posting it. Give me 1 hour's time. Obviously, I have to check with a fellow content creator like Baba and me. A lot of people kind of do Chelsea games. Let's see. Maybe Chelsea perspective. Chelsea to Arsenal, last Havertz and Pulisic. And by the way, let's get to predictions quickly. Ashish, again, wearing the neutral hat, you said that being an Arsenal fan, you will take a draw, correct? But what do you think is going to happen?
I see it very difficult that Arsenal score. So I see it in a very it's either because of a Chelsea mistake, just like last season, because we got some crucial players injured. So and our attack does not fire well if our midfield is not that strong. So it's either a 2-0 victory for Chelsea or it's a 1-all draw.
Okay, so I think I'm going for a 2-0 as well, to be honest. And I would say Havertz nahi. I would actually go with Lukaku, man. Come on. This is basically one. And I'm not saying that Lukaku suddenly will be the best striker in the world. No. I'm saying that he'll just get a goal against Arsenal. That's what I'm predicting. And second one, let's see. I've been calling Marcos Alonso for a lot of days. Let me continue with that. Marcos Alonso, the class player. Hopefully we'll get there. But this match will end in a draw. People are saying, okay, interesting. Chelsea perspective thinks that Werner should stay. Yes, absolutely. We kind of disagree, but again, we are best friends, man. You know it, but again, for me, it's about that mentality is needed, man, for us to win the league or even try competing. That unfortunately doesn't have that. He's great in cup competitions in Champions League and whatnot, and that's only my point. Not that Lukaku has it, but it's just that if I have to choose one. Arsenal had a perfect opportunity to get top 4 this season with no European football. Arsenal and Manchester United light years away from Saudi. But Statman Stubbs, last season, if you remember, we did the same thing. Chelsea were lucky. Spurs helped us. Spurs actually on the last day, Gareth Bale, if he had not scored the goal and if he had not won the Champions League, we would have been there. So I think it's a story of every season. It's easy for us to say that they should be top four. We should have been top four, I think, a few years ago. But the fact that I think it took a Mason Mount free kick against Wolves, even in lockdown. So there are seasons like that, and that's why we love the Premier League, absolutely, right? Okay, can Werner fit Arsenal setup if he leaves? Okay, because the way you guys play, Martinelli, it'll be an upgrade on Martinelli for sure. No, kind
True.
of.
I think Werner as a striker for a hold-up play, interesting. That would be a very interesting thing. But I think I'll use Werner as someone who use him exactly like he's used at Leipzig, over the top balls, or him making runs, him making perfect runs. I'll make him practice, him making proper runs, and then Ben White has a knack of providing over the top balls. So I think I would make use of his runs. That's all, running in between the lines and something like that.
Interesting.
He's the best in that.
Okay, fair enough. So before the end of the stream, let's actually quickly predict the remaining matches. And yes, there are some very interesting matches. Of course, the title challenge abhi bhi khatam nahi hui hai. Very much on. So first and foremost, Man City against Brighton. You have seen Brighton how they play very recently. So what do you reckon? Man City, if I'm not wrong, Brighton did a number over Liverpool, was it? Liverpool ko bhi beat kiye the, if I'm not wrong. And they have done well against us. So Brighton can be that team, but Man City are playing at home, knowing that they need points to basically be on top of the table. So do you see any upsets there?
I think it's going to be a very frustrating match for Manchester City, but I think they might overcome by 1-0. It would be something like that, a 1-0 win.
1-0 win, okay. But I think again, I think probably I'll agree with you there, because I think Man City, after that Atletico Madrid game, they have developed that style. So I think who knows, they'll probably play safe this time around. But Everton, Leicester, man, I don't know. Burnley have just done what they did not have to do, man. They've just sacked this guy who was their savior for years. और अभी यार Everton have got like a great chance of escaping. मतलब again, who are your three teams now? As in, you are expecting three teams right now to kind of go down, or you are expecting Everton Leeds?
I think Burnley don't. I mean, you just can't expect Ben Mee to actually do a miracle here. But I think with Sean Dyche leaving, I think that has sealed Burnley's fate.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's surely something more, right? As in, what do you think? Like, what is the logic of actually sacking him right now? I know it's a question, $1 million question for everyone, but is it something that they probably told him in advance that this was basically the minimum target that you have to reach after 30 games or something like that? What has happened, man?
I actually came across a lot of tweets from Burnley fans. They said that there was not even an official thank you for what he's done in the last such a long time. There was nothing. So there might be something disciplinary. There was something wrong. There was some big issues, and I think that's the reason why I think they have not addressed it, not paid their homage to what Sean Dyche has done. But Sean Dyche is happy. He's visiting a lot of pubs, and he's been clicking photos with a lot of fans, and it's there on social media. So I think, and probably he's seeking his 15 million payout clause as well. So I think it's fine.
Yeah. So I think Rahul is a big fan. I know, like Rahul, bhai, thank you, bhai. First of all, shout out to Rahul Trivedi. I have to give, because this guy actually really puts in a lot of effort on the channel, and to everyone watching, again, including the panel. And again, bhai, don't worry about it. See, we are all building a community together, and of course, we all love to speak against each other. That is why we are here. That is why Ashish is here. So we respect that. And certainly, as in again, Ashish is going to share, I'm going to share, and that's something that we'll be doing. It's not once. We'll be doing this maybe every time Arsenal Chelsea play. Put it that way. I'm kind of ready for it even more. I think Ashish, आपको तो मैं invite भी किया था, लेकिन मैं बना नहीं पाया. For Who Am I, if you remember. We had
yes,
so it is also pending, yes. And everyone here, Ashish is the next contestant for Who Am I, right? So आएंगे, वो मेरी गलती है. I couldn't find a City fan against him who probably was ready, right? That is one thing. But now let me try and find a Man U, Liverpool, or Chelsea fan, and let me actually jot down the questions, which I'll certainly do. वो interesting रहेगा, just for fun. right? We'll do that. But Rahul, yaar, gussa mat ho. ऐसे नहीं होता है. चलो, it's just a stream. And like I said, because it's you, maybe I took it for granted, but I hopefully did not want to throw it on Ashish as well. I hope you understand. यहाँ पर कुछ और ले लेते before people get angry more. Yes, absolutely nice to have you. हार्दिक लांबा, हेलो, कहाँ हो भाई आप आजकल? कहाँ हो? बारसा गायब होगी तो आप भी गायब हो गए हो. हार्दिक आया करो यार कभी कभी. अरे यार cool. चलो, Rahul is still there. Good to know. But you know what? Everton, man, Lampard, I'm just hoping that he is there. I still feel, Ashish, that he is a long-term manager. I know 90% people disagree. People, again, it's short-term memory loss. People forget that before the Emil Smith Rowe was founded by Arsenal, literally against Chelsea. You remember that game, right?
Yes.
Saka, Emil Smith Rowe. That was the time when Arteta wasn't doing well. Lampard was doing well. Arsenal, they got one over us, and that was the time, and that's why I'm talking about this, because till that time I think Lampard was doing well. I think we were there for, I think in top two for a good few weeks, and then suddenly we lost against Arsenal, we lost against Leicester, we lost to Everton 1-0, Mendy mistake, I remember. So those things happen, man, and that's where maybe Arsenal, they do a different approach. Like, they have Arteta given time, but that is what they can afford to do right now. And this season is more than ever. So I think we can kind of, agree to that. Yes, no problem. Exams are very important. Been there, done that. And what is speaking. Like, share, subscribe, absolutely, and do that to Indian Gunnar as well, everyone. Check out the link in the description below. I think that's about it, man. I don't see any other games, probably interesting ones. Obviously, we're going to discuss again, hopefully, because there are very important games: Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool ke liye. Coming few weeks and Spurs maybe. Next time, let's see. I'll try and have maybe a Spurs and Arsenal fan together. Ashish, ready for that? We'll probably do that.
I'm always ready for Spurs, definitely.
That'll be fun, right? That'll be even more fun, right? But yeah, it's good to know when finally. I know that you've been on channel before, but before it was more like I was talking like a neutral. This time we are like, okay, head to head, man. I mean, let's see. As in, again, I'm calling it that we'll win 2-0, and you're going for a draw. Let's see. As in, again, people do check out Indian Gunnar. Do check out our solo videos as well. Hopefully we'll come back with a review video first thing in the morning tomorrow, and of course we'll be back for the weekend reviews as well. Yes, and don't forget to like, and don't forget Ashish is your next contestant for Who Am I? Ashish, let's see, man. I'll connect with you. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to do that based on your convenience. But certainly,
all right. Sure.
I don't know about top 4, but you'll do well there. I know that.
Hopefully.
Yes. Oh, big up, yeah. City up in the house. Good to see you as well. Can Spurs beat Reds later in the season? Well, they did well. I think first game is Conte's second game, if I remember right. It was very good game. It was very good game. One of the best games that Spurs has played in the season. But again, Liverpool, man. I'm just hoping all their firepower goes before May 14th, before we play the final. I know I would like to beat them when they are all guns blazing. वो और भी खुशी होगी. लेकिन let's be honest, I would like to win the FA Cup more. Yes, absolutely. Watch along. 1 घंटा दो यार मुझे. मैं करता हूँ either way. Either me or Baba will tell you. Yes, absolutely, bhai. Absolutely. And everyone here also deserves more recognition, including Indian Gunnar. You won't believe it. Indian Gunnar, probably that consistency, even I have not had. So check him out as well for sure. And that's something that I always say. I learn from my fellow content creators. And again, we are just fans, man. Yes, of course, everyone kind of puts in a lot of effort. And you are welcome. We do a lot of open streams as well recently. So hopefully we'll do that again. So hopefully aap bhi baat karoge, Sagar, in the future with us. Like, Ashish, any last words? Anything about your channel? Anything about the season you want to share? Please go ahead, mate.
I hope the season goes well. I just want to, if you guys want any proper transfer news, I actually used to do streams last season. Last transfer window I did not do. I used to do daily streams about the transfer, talk about all the clubs. I'll try to start that again in the upcoming transfer window. So that's when, in the January transfer window, the summer transfer window is where I also want to be active. So if you want to check out all the transfer news, and if you want to have a discussion, do subscribe to my channel. And of course, guys, please like and subscribe this channel. It needs to get it. There's a lot of Chelsea content creators from India. They've got to come up as well. So I think if you're still watching this, and if you have not subscribed, I don't know what else will convince you. We won't pay you guys. So you guys have to, with a good heart, subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. Every subscription, every like helps, and of course, every comment helps as well. Malab, it's all about discussion. Malab, I actually prefer doing live streams more because of the fact that हम discussion कर सकते हैं. Live discussion is even more because I want to hear views. Again, I've started a few comments here. गाली देंगे मुझे वो लोग. लेकिन again, we do solo videos as well, people, and that takes a lot of effort. Ashish again knows his stuff, and that's why I'm saying it, right? Because both of us do it. That takes a lot of effort. Trust me, a lot of R&D goes in there, right, Ashish? So which city is Ashish? Ashish, I don't know if you're comfortable sharing.
I'm from Mumbai.
Okay, perfect. That sounds good. Combined 11, bhai. 87 for us taking a pun here. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe yeah. Did you see? I'm pretty sure you saw Robbie's video, man, with Rory Jennings, and that was like
Oh my god.
Kovacic.
He picked Partey over Kovacic, right?
Man,
Yeah.
like I agree, Partey is really good. I'm not saying that, but Kovacic has been probably arguably a player of the season, man. Anyway,
He was one of the best players in for Lampard as well.
oh yeah,
He was running the midfield.
actually, he's that kind of a player who doesn't do too much in one particular area, and that is why people don't see him, like the neutrals, right?
If you remember FA Cup semi-final, Manchester United versus Chelsea. Manchester United versus Chelsea. Kovacic was the one who really turned it around, and there are lots of games, not just one game. So I think
No, even in the final, boss, remember, Kovacic got a red card, and maybe we still had 3 minutes. Who knew, right? I think things would have changed. Pulisic and Kovacic, maybe, they kind of were really good in the final for me. Lekin,
Anthony Taylor was the referee.
Talk about Anthony Taylor. Wow, what a timing, man. I think, if I'm being very honest about it, Ziyech, as much as I'm a Dutch fan, I love Ziyech, but the fact that he's not been consistent, I would have Saka over Ziyech. That's one player. And maybe on the left-hand side, I'll probably have Mount. That's what I would say in a combined 11, if you have to do. But for me, the only player I'm really, seeing that for sure has to be in the combined 11 has to be Saka. Others are maybe debatable, maybe not. Tierney, maybe. Tierney, Chilwell. Probably Ashish will go for Tierney when he's fit. But for me, Chilwell. But again, I think both. I think either or you can pick. I think both are really good on that day for me. So I think these are the two players. Is it fair, Ashish? That comment?
I'd say yes, because I'm actually shell shocked with a lot. The last 3 losses. I think yes, Saka. I think definitely on the right hand side. But apart from that, I think up top, I think I'm going to put Havertz. I don't know why, because he's been quite.
Up top is Havertz for sure. For me, I told you he's the number 9 man. We have been talking about Haaland, Lukaku, Werner, and umpteen number of strikers. Trust me, the Chelsea way is to kind of build a striker. वही है अभी last, or he has almost done that, man. Like, I think you can argue that he wasn't that. Maybe last season he was more like a clutch player. This season he's done it consistently. So, especially this calendar year. So I think I would probably take him, but we need that backup. That's what we are lacking. Hopefully Broha, comes, man. I hope he's not sold. Man. He's really good as a backup. Zidane or Klopp, man, come on, difficult one there, but I think Klopp, man, for the kind of football he plays, no. But Zidane, yeah, Champions League, he's underrated, by the way. I really feel, I think he's won about 10 trophies, or I think 12 trophies, I think, with Real Madrid. Something.
I think 12
crazy.
trophies.
Wow, I think something great. Yeah, but hopefully we'll have a good match, man. Ashish, let's see. As in, we'll probably sync up again, like I said, for the Who Am I. And thanks, I know it's almost 1.5 hours. And again, thank you everyone for joining. If in case you've not checked out, do check out Indian Gooner. Do check out Almighty Blues Cricket. I don't know, Ashish, are you a cricket fan as well? I think
I am. Yes,
Correct. So actually, I'll probably have a discussion on cricket as well in the future, right? So let's do that.
Sure,
Almighty Blues Cricket, Indian Gooner, Almighty Blues FC. Check it out, or check out our social pages, because we'll be, confirming out when we are live next. Till next time, take care, and of course, come on. All the best to Ashish and Arsenal, but come on, it's got to be Chelsea. I'm just hoping and praying. Let's see. We'll meet again for sure.